What's up, Dave? Made it. And you're early. Hey, what's going on, guys? Okay. So Alex is just wrapping up a couple of orders and he was gonna be out here, but unfortunately a customer just come rolling in. So he's gonna be a little tied up for a minute, but we're gonna try to get him in here because, last couple of weeks he's just been busy through the whole thing and just hasn't had time to sit down. Also, we've instated our new summer hours. We found that having the extra hour after UPS picks up is not worth as much as coming in an extra hour early. And since I'm a tight ass and I'm not going to pay an extra hour a day, we moved back from 9 to 6. We moved it to 8 to 5. So that way UPS picks up at the very end of the day, and we get here an hour early. The phones don't turn on until 9 still in the morning, and that'll give us time to get um, acclimated with what we have on our plates for the day and to get a head start on getting orders from overnight filled because things are starting to heat up. So, yeah, that's what's happening in our neck of the woods. And we unfortunately, I discovered that we had been out of Sun Distributing dash towels for quite some time, and I had ordered like 40 of them, and I screwed up, and I normally have them sent straight to Tim, but I had a moment and clicked the button and had them shipped here. And then I discovered one day last week that they're still here with no Sun Distributing logo on them. So we got them expedited over to Tim. Tim is put us in line because things are starting to ramp up for him also. And oh, look at that. He's working on them right now. So that's exciting. And I'm not trying to rush him because I just kind of dropped him in his lap. I blew a gasket, told these guys I need these fuckers shipped over there. I can't believe they're still here. They were here for what, 2, 3 weeks? Like just, but that's the nature of spring when things start amping up, and you're used to being slow over the winter, and all of a sudden everything hits you in the face at once, and you kind of overlook some things. So at least that's what happens in my end. I'm not sure about you guys. You guys probably hold it together through all of it and make everything look professional. What is up? Dark Side Customs, one of my favorite peoples. Holy bejesus. So yeah, it's been a thing. Um, we had a recent run on Helios. So those of you that are out there talking up Helios, thank you. It's it's like gotten crazy busy, and now I have a customer in my warehouse sitting on my high-low honking its horn. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I just don't feel like that's how that's supposed to work. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I ain't got time to deal with it right now. Alex will have to handle it. But yeah, when you walk up in somebody's warehouse, do the whole world a favor. Don't climb on their shit and start pushing buttons. Because if the owner wasn't in Tool Talk, he might go fire you as a customer. I've been in a mood lately about people because I don't know. Some people's children these days, I swear to God. And I don't know if any of you guys like know anything about that, but yeah. Uh, so, what's up with everybody? You know, a new hot item that I have, and I've had, and that brings me another thing. Marketing. I really suck at marketing. You guys probably realize that. You guys found me. I didn't find you, and I try to figure things out, but the reality of it is I just suck at marketing. And um I think a lot of us have those struggles. So like when other people are talking about being busy, you're like, well, why ain't I busy? What am I doing wrong? And a lot of people resort to lowering their prices because they feel like maybe they're priced too high and that's why people ain't shopping with them. When the reality is maybe you're just not being found. And, you know, I wished I could help with that. Like I said, I suck at it. One slap in the face eye opener is I've had the rack system for tent rolls for quite some time now. And they're all 3D printed, and I only get three, maybe four sets a week. It's really slow. But see, I don't market super fast and strong. And so like a lot of people don't see my content. They don't know about me, or they don't know about, which is funny because I've got over 5,000 customers. So a lot of people know about me, but I guess a lot of people don't know about me. And a lot of people don't know about me having the rack. And so I've been doing real good. Not like my first order was 20 of them, and 20 of them obviously is going to take, 6 weeks. And so it's a slow crawl kind of thing. And then I give a set to Matt over at Tent Studio, and he makes a little video, and his little video in one night I got 20. I ran out and got 23 people on a waiting list for him. I got four in today, put them online. So I'm guessing, so those people automatically get an email. And I don't know, let's just take a quick peek and see if, see what I see. I think only one person's jumped on it, maybe two. I'm going to look. I put four in stock. Damn slow. It's here somewhere. This was obviously not the most efficient way to get to it. There it is. Does say I got three in stock. So I switched it over so it can be back ordered when I run out. Just throw yourself in line for them if you don't have it already, because it's just crazy. And I don't know. And as other people have found, one set of them will hold 8 rolls. So uh, it's good if, depending on what size, um, depending on what size rolls you carry and how many lines of film, you know, 8 rolls is basically five 40 inchers or 36 inchers, and then three 24 inchers. And so If you have 3 lines of film, it might not be a bad idea to have 3 sets of racks, one for each line. If you watch any Matt's videos, you can see just how space saving they are. So you can put a lot of film, very accessible in a small space. And another thing, you know what? Actually, if you're getting on board with these, um, let me open a new tab and I'll show you something. So these things spin really, really easy and maybe too easy, but what's up, Cash? Oh, look at that. UPS is here. Told him be here as close to 5 as he could be. It's 4:10. I did not back my entire day up for an hour to have UPS showing up an hour earlier. That does not, no. But whatever. We're busy. We got a show going on Tuesday. I suppose it's okay. And if Alex is still working on an order, then UPS can just wait because that's what they do. We got a substitute driver today. I don't, I mean, believe it or not, we got decent relationships with most substitute drivers. I don't personally know this guy. I think Alex might, so we'll see. Tis what it is. But I was just about to. We are a Fusion strap pack. All right, so I will show you guys this. Because I've had people mention that if they leave any hanging off the roll, they walk away and it just slowly unrolls. Because these things, I mean, they spin like a dream. Matt ended up putting a roll of black tape around each nub on the end, and that slows it down, creates a little bit of friction or drag, so it doesn't. But yeah, the plastic on plastic is one of those kind of surfaces. So this strap 4-pack, you can buy 2 of these. And basically what it is a snap bracelet. They come in packs of 4. But you can put this on your roll on the wall so it doesn't unravel. And the other neat thing that's good with this is you can write on this with a Sharpie. Right, let me make this bigger. But right on either side, you can just write your shade and film line or whatever you need to, just to kind of keep it in your head while you're getting used to it. And then these, like, I don't know if you're familiar with snap bracelets, but that's, kind of how those work. Is they just, when you push them on there, they just snap around the roll and hold it in place so it doesn't unravel. Better than a piece of tape. So those are pretty awesome. And also, what's up, Joe? Alex is loading up UPS and getting them out, and he's finishing up a little project, and he's really hoping to make it. And because of our shift in time for our hours, Tool Talk, we had a discussion, and we're all on this end at least in favor of Tool Talk just being a 1-hour show. It makes sense. I mean, we usually have about an hour of good content and an hour of trying to figure out what to talk about. And most of the time, I don't have a real solid topic. So I don't have anything that eats into it. Basically, what that means for you guys is going to be if you could just ask your questions sooner. Just received my hat I won last week. Fits amazing quality, amazing stitching. Yeah, 5 to 6. No, Cash. Look at the clock. What time is it? But we're no longer open from 5 to 6. And I mean, I could sit here for an hour after we close and have a show. God knows I won't get disturbed, because that was another thing that was happening with Alex leaving early. Is, customer comes in, or this happens or that happens, and I get torn away. Thought about making it after hours and shooting from home, but we have Tinter Tuesday with Jason Omoleski, so we don't want to step on his toes. And lots of people have their shows, so we're gonna just kind of stay our lane. And although we have given a lot of thought and consideration to change the name from Tool Talk Tuesday to Tinner Talk Tuesday, because really that's all we really do is just hang out and BS. And I'm here to share whatever knowledge and experience I have, but most of the knowledge and experience I have, I take for granted. I don't realize people are struggling with it, because I don't struggle with it. It's I am aware of my struggles, but if I'm struggling, then I mean, that's like the blind leading the blind. I can't help you with the things that I'm struggling with. And I don't know. I think I'm kind of too humble. There goes the phone. I think I'm too humble to realize the things that I know that you don't know. And so, but the good news is, if you just put it in question form, like, hey, I'm struggling with this, do you have any experience with that? If I do, then 7 to 8, then there's an hour break before Jason. That's a thought. I'll have to run it past my wife, though, because she really does appreciate that, having me when I'm at home. And so it was a thought in my head, but my thought is I will get scolded for that idea. I'm not positive, but it probably would happen. But yeah, business is starting to pick up. Let me get that out of here. Put me back up here, smoking away. It's just what I do. And see, what else is new? The tent rack. It's crazy. Just crazy. Telling you. Let's see. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take me and I put me up here a little bit more like that. Is that more better? That's probably more better. I don't know. Yeah. So another new development yesterday. I thought I had an ingrown hair actually over here, and um, apparently I didn't, or maybe I do, and I just couldn't find it. But it started out real small and minor, and by bedtime last night, my whole side of my face. I'm looking at the screen trying to, but my whole side of my face was like big swelled. I woke up this morning and it was still big swelled. And so I talked to the wife about it, and I'm like, I don't know. Should I go to should I go to the urgent care or something, or just wait it out? And she's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird. She's like, does it hurt? And I'm like, no, there's really no pain involved. But I don't know if you guys can see, but like right here, and this is actually down, because this is about, oh, it's hard to look at it and do this, but this is about where it's cut in. And this morning it was all the way back here. It was the whole side of my face. So I don't know what that's about. We're gonna give it another day, see if the swelling continues to go down, and maybe it'll just go away, and who knows what it was. Or maybe it won't be any better, or maybe it'll be bigger in the morning. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I'll keep you guys posted. But for right now, I have no idea. I've never seen something swell up like that without pain in a 24-hour period. It's just crazy. Unless maybe there's just a ton of health stuff that I don't know about. Mm, invasion, you're funny. Had to retype it because I missed a few letters in chat. Yeah, Tim does a real good job with stitching. He did these, and they're they're pretty damn spiffy. Try to make sure to wear one of these shirts. I have my old shirts, which are I don't know if they're screen printed or what they are, but they're old and they're cracking and they're not that good. But I still wear them because the shirt itself is good. It's just the print falls apart. The stitching isn't going to fall apart. And the cool thing about it, Tim being Tim, he does things like really well. But I have some other embroidered shirts that this is all just bunches up the shirt like everything's so tight. And I know what happens. The embroiderer will take and stretch it over whatever they're clamping it to and then put it in the machine. And well, the machine doesn't know that it's stretched. So they take it out of the machine and it just kind of, the material tries to go back to its original position. And at first, it's not a bad thing. It doesn't look bad. But then, and after a couple washes, though, it shrinks right down. It's quite obvious Tim doesn't stretch the shit out of these when he puts them on. But I think that's the difference between the business owner doing the work and an hourly worker doing the work. It's just the business owner is going to take their time and quality to do their thing. It's quite obvious that at T Town T-shirts, the owner is doing the work because that's how it should be. Anyway. Even though usually the owner doesn't have the time, then they have a battle on their hands because the people that they pay and people come and take the job and they agree to do the job at the best of their ability for the pay that they were offered, but then they go and give two shits about the work that they do because they didn't really mean it in the interview. That's how I feel sometimes. But right now I got a pretty good crew that does a pretty good job. Most hats should have been burnt off all the extra thread on the inside. I could have missed that. I have that right accessory to mount this shirt so it doesn't stretch. Oh, cool. I know there's reasons behind it. And I do know doing things, the way you would want them done does take a little extra effort sometimes. And sometimes employees just don't give it that little extra effort. Now, I'm fortunate. I got Alex and he gives a damn. Doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We do carry that human element around with us. Some of us are better at not making mistakes than others, but we all make mistakes, including myself. But how we handle those mistakes too is huge. I can't tell you how many times I cringe when I read a post and somebody's like, "Yeah, the customer sent me this picture and he's complaining about one little speck in the middle of his window." And the whole freaking thread of comments is tell them to kick rocks. And it's like, that is not customer service. I understand that it's only one spec, but sometimes you got to look at the placement of that one spec. And if that one spec is right there in your peripheral, and while you're driving, you can see it the whole time, it's kind of like having a scratch on the lens of your glasses. You can't live with it. I don't care if it's a tiny little speck or a scratch or whatever. You can't live with it. And, you got to put yourself in the customer's shoes. Now, if the customer's like, if you look in the stamp in the corner of the window where it says, whatever solar ray or whatever those stamps say, and you look in between those two letters, there's a little dot there. Is that supposed to be, yeah, okay, I get that. But usually that's not the case. Usually the spec is somewhere in the middle of the window and the customer has a legitimate complaint. And even if the customer doesn't have a legitimate complaint, you have the opportunity at that moment to make that customer feel like they're important to you. So asking Facebook what they think you should do with your customer, probably not the best angle to approach that. What you should do is ask yourself, if you were the customer and this bothered you, how would you want to be treated? And that would probably answer your question real quick. Have I tried the Workhorse 2 plotter? No, I have not. Is it any good, or would you recommend something different? I personally will buy GraphTech or equivalent. Does that make that the right answer? Not necessarily. There's a lot of people that do use the Workhorse plotters. The Workhorse plotters, as far as I understand, are no different than most of those Chinese, like US cutter plotters and whatnot. They're not, when you use them, if you've used many different plotters, you won't feel like you're using a top of the line plotter. When you use a GraphTech, a Roland, a Mutaw, Mamaki, most of your Japanese made um, plotters, you're going to find a much smoother, much quieter, much firmer. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Did you get your hat? You're gonna find a different quality. But if you start off with a Workhorse, I got to believe that you're not going to know any better. You're going to just know that this is how a plotter works and it's going to do the job for you. It's going to make your life easier. So I don't hear a lot of things about people. One thing I worry about with a $1,600 plotter is, because I paid $6,000 for my plotter. And one thing I worry about, is that whole get what you pay for. And one thing I'm concerned about is the longevity. You can run a GraphTech for 10, 12, 15 years. I don't know what kind of longevity a Chinese plotter is going to have, but you don't hear a lot of stories about I bought this thing a year ago and it's already died on me. So, I mean, that's good news. There's not a ton of moving parts in a plotter. Most of it is electronic. So if the motherboards and the solder joints and everything are good and secure, and the parts that do move, as long as they're within tolerance, because that's important, then the noise it makes while it's running and how light it is probably isn't as relevant. It's just the heavier machines that make less noise, they're a little tighter, a little denser. So to me, they feel a little more quality, if that makes sense. Oh, Alex is still out there working on his project. Yeah, so as you get close to the end of your semester in college, apparently your projects get a little more in depth and detailed. And Alex is starting to learn that lunch break isn't enough time to do a whole week project for a class, which makes sense. All right, Jeff, let's see what we got going on over here because there is a chance that I can look this up. Oh, as long as it lets me log in. He says it's going to let me look. So search. It says that you use Helios orbit. How do you like that? Tracking says it says your hat was delivered on Tuesday at the front door in Knoxville, Tennessee. Still on Lawson Avenue. Oh, we shipped it on the 21st, and it would appear that you received it on the 25th. Oh, that's today. Go check your front door. Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna check on Ellie. It's not looking good for Alex making it to Tool Talk. But he made coffee, so I gotta go fill up my coffee. So I'll be right back again. But anyway, all right, I made it back. I've never heard of it going on sale, but based on its price, it already is on sale. Um, so yeah, what would you guys think if I came out with a device that screwed to your wall and sucked um, slip solution, be it whatever you use. I don't care if it's tint tack or if it's tint slime or all type or um, tint slip, the new stuff from GeoShit. It doesn't matter. What if I told you that you could just put this tube in there and set your setting, and no matter whether you're filling up a 32-ounce trigger spray bottle or a 5 gallon keg or anything in between, what if I told you that your mix would be exactly the same every single time? And what if I told you this option could be available for $3.99? And no, not $3.99. Give you years and years of uninterrupted solutions. What would you think? Would that be a good thing? Because I'm thinking about pulling the trigger. And you guys do understand that it is expensive to start a new product, but about 5 years ago, I came up with something and it was kind of big and clunkety, but it worked fine. And it actually worked with zero maintenance for about 5 years. And then it had a little problem. And um, over at the tint shop, they took it apart and discovered that over the years, the soap just built up and built up and built up. And so that's actually, yeah, like a metering system some big detail shops have, but not quite as expensive as the ones that they have. Because what we're doing is really the same thing, but we don't do it with as much volume. You know, they're mixing like wheel cleaners, acid based stuff. So that's obviously a big thing. And they're mixing car wash soap, like large volumes of it. So that's a big thing. There are also there's a lot that goes into it. I have a detail shop that's an account of ours that he's got a pretty elaborate setup. But one thing that I don't like about most of those setups is they're typically electric with solenoids and all that other stuff, and some of them are air driven, and they're complicated and they're expensive. And I don't think that we want complicated in our industry. We want something that we can just use and that doesn't cost a fortune. Because let's face it, nobody really wants to spend $1,000 or $1,300 to mix slip solution. It just, we don't use enough of it. On the busiest day ever that I could possibly muster up, I've used 3 gallons of water myself. So what is that worth? But the nice thing I was thinking about for us is, one thing I preach as far as the kegs go is only mix what you need for the day, and mix your solution every day. So if you only got 2 cars, mix a gallon of water, because you don't want to, fill your whole 5 gallon up with slip and then dump 3.5 gallons out at the end of the day. It would be a lot better if you only dumped a half a gallon out at the end of the day or a quart out at the end of the day. But unfortunately, then you're thinking math, because if you know that you're putting 4 or 6 ounces of soap in your 5 gallon keg, that's cool. But then it's like, oh wait, I'm only going to use a gallon today, so how much would that be? Oh, a gallon is an ounce and a quarter, maybe, or an ounce and a half, or and you'll have to. Oh, wait a minute, I want to fill up a trigger sprayer, so how much am I going to put in that to keep it consistent to what I'm used to? And so this solves those problems, and it makes it real easy to um, do more with less effort. If that makes sense. It would be cool to make a custom hose reel that could hang from the ceiling on both sides of the vehicle or on all four sides that has your custom hose setups inside and can connect to a keg. Actually, I do have a few hose systems out there. The problem is, so a lot of these, you got 30 to 60 feet of hose in your reel. And when you know, when you use one hose for your car, the solution flows through it enough that you get no coagulation inside of that hose. But if you use 25% of that hose, then you start to get buildup. Then comes the maintenance. You need to start rinsing that hose out more often. And what we find is if you don't rinse them out more often, then your what do you call it? Your solution starts to stink. You start spraying it, and you're like, "What is that? Like vinegary or nasty smell?" And you got your thing done. These people miss you. The cool thing I did. Hell yeah! All right, yeah. So the metering system that I got, um, that I'm looking at right now, they do not recommend that you run your on off on the pressure side. They recommend that you do it on the other side. Now, I don't know what the harm would necessarily be, but my guess is that it would black backflow. The one that I've been using for the last 5 years at the tint shop, it has a water driven motor in it. So it goes around inside creating the draw up, but it clicks and it locks into each position. So when you stop over here on the pressure side, when you stop the flow, it can't go backwards and push water back down into your feed. So in this case would be the slip solution, where I believe this other one I'm looking at, it doesn't have as intricate of a motor. And I don't know if the check valve would handle that kind of pressure as the back pressure. Now they do have one that will do that, and it even comes with a little trigger nozzle to fill your stuff up. And the nice thing about that is then you could just go over there like a gas pump or whatever and fill your stuff up. And technically, you could take that off and run to a trigger sprayer with a reel. And the problem with that is it doubles in price. And now we're back to what my original, because my original thing was about $1,000, and I honestly thought about selling them, but the more I talk to people, they were like, "Oh my God, I need one of those in my life." I tell them the price of it, and they're like, "Oh, it's only slip solution." And some of those detail shops, they got multiple detailers and running 30 cars a day through their shop. It makes sense for them to have that kind of expense. For us, I think $400, maybe $500 might be starting to push the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Um, it would definitely. Hey, look, it's an Alex. Oh shit, that means I can't hear him. Can I not hear you, Alex? The problem with him showing up late, if he shows up late, it's because he was busy. And if he was busy, one thing that he wasn't busy doing, he wasn't busy making sure that his audio was going to work. It'd probably be a lot quicker and easier just to restart your computer at this point. But it seems to do this every time you get on now, so we should we should kind of know what it is by now. Well, you should. I don't because I'm over here. I don't see what it is. Makes no sense to me. He's like, I don't want to restart the computer. His computer literally restarts in like 90 seconds, but he's going to spend the next 10 minutes trying to fix this. Oh, look, he can hear me. Nope, still can't hear you. I think he plays with his dials and his buttons and his knobs and stuff during the week and messes things up because he likes to, when he's working on his computer, he likes to have background stuff going on. And our audio system on these computers are pretty intricate. So yeah, I wanted to recommend a while back, but you should make an option on your site for a mystery box where it costs a certain amount of money and there will be a few small random tools inside. Yeah, it's been suggested, but the thing is, 44 Tools is already doing it, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this about me. I'm not that much of a follower. Um, Not that it's a bad idea, but it's not one of those things that everybody does, and I should do it too. It's something that 44 Tools does, and I just don't feel like it would be. I think if I was the only one doing something and people jumped on it, which sometimes they do, it irritates me. And I'm not trying to get irritated by people trying to follow me, although it's flattering, but I don't know. Does that make sense? But I mean, I kind of want to, and I have wanted to, but I I'm a guy that believes firmly that you shouldn't judge me on the things I do in front of you. You should judge me on the things I do that you don't know about. And now you don't know about them, so how can you possibly judge, right? But between me, the man in the mirror, and the man upstairs, we know about them, and we keep me in check. And those are the kind of things that, I'm not looking to make a fast buck out of somebody else's idea.
Yo.
Well, look at how easy that was.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
No, so Voice Meter did this weird update where like stuff changed. Like even the whole interface. It gave me like the basic version
Oh,
where it was like it only had like two sliders for inputs and then like one slider for output. It was weird. And then I had to Google what was wrong with it. And then apparently I had
yeah.
to start it up in banana mode or whatever.
Potato. You should be using potato.
I don't know. Now the
But
right one comes back on default again, so it doesn't matter.
so you have five of one and three in the middle, and I don't know, like eight across the right hand side.
Yeah, I got the potato now.
You got the potato. The potato's the big daddy. The banana's not nothing to,
Which is
sloth
weird
at,
that they
but
would. It's weird that they would name it the potato because when I was a kid growing up, like, oh, you're playing that game on a potato, and that was basically like an old ass computer that was on its last limb.
oh, yeah.
So it was like it's like something that's really nerfed down,
They're bringing back the potato.
and they're making it. Potatoey as ever.
But
Oh,
yeah, that basic one is like their free version. But when you download Potato, you get all three,
oh,
which is weird.
it's weird.
So how about a keg pouch that attaches to the keg to hold those oddball tools that won't be used much on mobile jobs for flat glass or even automotive?
Oh,
Like a
I wonder.
bucket buddy.
What if you make a flask holder, or you get like a Velcro strap flask, but you put your like all type 16 ounce in it for your like 3 gallon mobile guys?
Huh. I don't know.
I like that idea. The like little tool pouch for the tin keg.
Yeah. And the bucket buddies are awesome, but buckets are bigger than a tent keg, so they don't fit. But
But yeah, that's kind of like I think that's like the idea of like a bucket buddy, but for a tin keg.
so to go to a seamstress type person to have it made, it's going to be so expensive. We're going to have to field those comments. It's like, oh, why do you
T-Town.
want $49 or $109, or I don't even know how much it would be.
I think T-Town knows how to sew.
Hey, Town, can you sew? Can you make these bucket buddies for the? We'll call it the keg buddy,
He's
and
like the
that's my
baseball.
patent too.
He's the baseball dad that knows how to do like everything.
I put the Tent Buster waist pouch on my tank. That's not a bad idea. Tim, we need
Oh,
we need a keg buddy. Let's get on that. Figure out what our cost is going to be. We got to be able to hold the back window tools and maybe a couple of small pouches and the pouches got to be loose because you got to be able to just reach your hand in them. So they can't be tight like the Ergodyne apron and shit. You know what I'm saying? But figure it out. Let's get this rolling. And if you tell me that you got a plan that works, I will have Carrie get on the branding. 500 keg buddies by Monday. What does that even mean? So provocative. And what's with the substitute UPS driver asking me what time I want him to pick up? And I tell him as close to 5 o'clock as possible
and
because
then he,
we close at 5 o'clock, and I don't mind waiting around a little while for him if he's a little after 5, and he shows up at like 4:10.
I'll show up when I wanna.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my foot in his ass. He waited a long time today to deliver my tent racks.
Oh, it's the same guy.
I assume so. I don't know. Hi, Stan. What is happening? Do we have snap off tips for our knives in stock? You talking
Nice.
about like
Snap
the
box.
clip? Are you talking about the snap box or the red dot clip? Because we have red dot clips.
My bank
You
is so. Huh?
what? Are
My
you
bank
looking
is
at your
so
bank?
happy with me.
Are you
No,
looking at your bank account?
I seen I just like seen an alert on my phone. I looked over and it was
Your
PNC
income
like,
tax
oh
finally?
no, it's talking about rewards and shit. Yeah, I got my income taxes this morning.
Woo!
Woo!
No wonder you was in a chipper mood.
I was
Had a little
actually not
bounce
in
in
a
your
chipper
step.
mood.
Oh,
No, dude, I like woke up right on time, but like, dude, I didn't go to sleep until like 3 a.m. because of my kid. She's just like, I don't know. Something was weird where like I couldn't fall asleep and I was just falling asleep and I fell asleep. It was like probably like somewhere around 1. It was just like it was like hot and then cold and I'm like tossing and turning and I finally get to sleep and then all of a sudden I'm getting like kicked in the gut and like stepped on and I'm like, dude, what the hell's going on? And then
Telling you, it's
yep.
this weather. We don't know how to manage our temperatures in our houses now. I slept like crap last night too. I was up every hour and a half, 2 hours, just
Yeah,
uncomfortable. And
little Vivian just thought it was time for an adventure and tried to get out and look outside and smack the window a couple times and then turn around back at me and then try to hit the pillow and then just uh, you know, and it's like you try to give her a bottle and she's just like yeah, good times. I don't know. I know I'm gonna miss those days, but some days it's just like not convenient.
oh, T Town. He says I can make a hat that has pockets or clips on it that Tinners can attach a camera and a battery setup like Matt has with his head strap. Now that might be kind of cool, but in starting to read that, it gave me another thought. How about a hat? And let's check this out. Let me take this off. So how about a hat like whoa, and put a clip that I can just stick my red dot in somehow.
That's what I was thinking the moment you started talking that.
Wait, I don't have my ears on. I can't hear you. Does this adjust?
Oh,
Because it's kind of tight. I
no, I
have a
was
big
thinking
head.
that I
I
was
don't have
thinking
the
the same
normal size head. I have at least one click bigger. Oh, that's much better. All right, now I can put this on. Ta-da!
I was saying that the moment that he said that, I thought the exact same thing that you
Oh,
just said.
I think we got a winner, Tim. We need a red dot holster for the hat, and it's up to you to figure out how it's gonna. Don't put it under the bill because I'll poke myself in the eye. That'd be bad. It's
What
got to go over the bill, or maybe just slide into the side. Yeah, just like that. Check that out. A little fucking, a little. Get this off my ear. It's in the way. All right. We'll have a little. If there we go, just like that. A little pouch that just goes right there in the side, and red dot's always there. And I'll sell them for $49.95
plus
or
tax?
less, plus tax.
Order now. We'll include free shipping.
But wait, there's more.
But there's more. Get a free red dot clip.
I do have a 3D printer. Oh, we're talking about plastic. I thought you sewing something onto the hat. But no, I get what you're saying because you can print a little slide on like phone. What about for those guys that don't want to wear a hat? Because I don't really wear hats. And why is the light so bright on this hat? That's terrible. You notice the light's not that bright on me. It's just the angle of it, and then it's no good. I don't like it. It's making me angry. Put it like that. See, it looks great, but we tilt it like that, it gets a oh. And when it's on my head, it's back here further, and then it's more washed out. So if I was up close, it'd be less washed out. So maybe I just need to wear it like this, and then see now it's look. There we go. See, good. You're a little bit. See it. I have so many hats, and I am not a hat guy. A free sticker if you order in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, did you notice that T Town puts a free sticker on his hats? Whoops. And it's transparent, apparently. Doesn't show me through it, but it shows my background through it. Magic. It's smagic.
Like like the magic of a young girl's heart.
I don't even know what that means.
It's that song. Give this magic.
Hey, I watched that movie. I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston,
Oh,
and
is it good?
oh, dude, like, so there are so many things about her that we probably didn't know. At least
Does,
I didn't know.
does she have a rough life?
Um, Not so much, but one thing that you'll notice and it might click. Now, over my lifetime, I've had a lot of like artists that I grew up with and really like they die and they die young, they die early, whether it be from suicide or drugs, unfortunately. And um one thing I realized watching her movie is that all these people probably have one thing in common, and that's the common dream when they first want to get into what it is that they're doing. And their dream is that imagine like, and almost immediately their entire life gets taken away from them and they don't get who they want. They don't get to be who they wanted to be. They have to be who the brand tells them to be. And that became quite apparent with her movie, because like she was this girl that had dreams. And I mean, we all know how amazing her voice was and how amazing she did and in the charts and everything. Every time she released anything, whatever she did, it went to the top every single time. And that wasn't just because of her ability, but it was also because of her brand, and her brand was dictated by other people. And so she just had to follow the rules, which didn't allow her to be who she was. But if you watch it, that'll all make sense. I don't want to tell any details because I think it's worth the watch. Y'all should watch it. Unless you didn't like Whitney Houston, then I don't know. Then maybe there's just something wrong with you.
You know, and that seems to be the case with most artists like that. And it's always a hit or a miss. And it's like either you conform because you're basically owned by the label and you have managers and you don't, you know, you no longer work for yourself, you work for other people. Or you can just say screw those guys and then you either tank yourself or you do really good and you created something new.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, look at Queen. What's his name? He wanted to be a certain somebody, and they tried to tell him he can't do that. And he's like, screw you, I'm gonna be me. So he lived his life his way. And if you watch Bohemian Rhapsody, it does a real nice job of breaking down the struggles that he went through in his career because of it. And the fact that with his talent, because the man had a talent, and he didn't get recognition because of who he was, because his brand didn't match what society wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So he was shunned. And so, yeah, you don't. At my age, I'm starting to realize that there is no glory in being a star,
Dude,
because
the worst ones, though, I think like the saddest ones are the ones that are like, screw you, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then they like don't blow up and nothing comes about it, and then they die thinking that they failed. But then like 20 years later, someone comes across it and puts it back out there, and then it blows up,
yeah,
and they're not alive for it. That was kind of like that was Picasso. Like Picasso paintings are
yeah,
freaking like millions of dollars, but like when he was alive as a painter, like no
he
one
died
gave a shit
broke.
about him. He died
Yeah,
broke.
with a lot of paintings out there that were going to become priceless.
It's crazy.
It is. So, I mean, I don't know. So, if I guess I guess I can leave everybody with this idea. Be careful who you want to be. Try to be just enough, because you want balance. And in order to achieve balance, you can't shoot for the moon. Because if you shoot for the moon, you're going to have to conform. And if you conform, you might not be as happy as you would be if you were able to just be you. So try to find a way to be you and be just famous enough to be successful, and maybe be just you enough to be happy, because there are going to be times that you have to conform. Because trust me, I had for instance, I had a customer email and say, "Hey, I dropped my tank and broke my clear bowl on my inline filter. Do you have a place I can buy one?" So I sent her a link. Well, we had just recently started charging shipping again because I just can't anymore. It's killing me. It's that's, I guess, a story for another day. But anyways, she comes back and she's like, $16 shipping for that that's ridiculous. How do you justify trying to charge me $16 for, and I don't charge you for shipping. UPS charges for shipping. I just pass it along. And so I explained that to her and everything. And I also explained to her that, if you were to add a whole bunch of things to your cart, you might find it's still $16 for shipping because UPS has a minimum and your address qualifies for $16 apparently. And I don't know, it went back and forth a little bit and I didn't see it going where I wanted it to go. And I was dealing with this over the course of the weekend, and my weekends are mine. So I just left it, and then I told Alex, just send her a bowl. She didn't order a bowl. She's pissed off. I'm like, just send her a bowl. Alex, did you send her a bowl?
I did not.
Oh, well, I guess I did my part.
Well, that will go here. We'll put that in the notes right now.
Right a note.
But
Yeah, we're working on this whole note thing too, because we're learning that we have a lot of thoughts that are great, but sometimes you get sidetracked. You're like on the path to success, but then this happens and you got to hang a right or you got to hang a left, and then it gets lost in the mix. So, yeah,
and it's been
what's
it's
that?
been kind of crazy. Like we started the day with really not that many orders, but like just things just kept piling up. Like once I got that film put away, then everything just kept happening one after another. But it's all done. It's all good. It's all done minus the bowl,
Minus the bowl.
which
We'll get the bowl on tomorrow's list, and tomorrow we'll come up with a new list. And there's a few things that we kind of left dangling today, but they're all behind the scenes stuff, so that doesn't affect any of our customers because that's really what's important. So the bowl seems to be the only thing that got missed today on the customer side of things. And well, the good news for the bowl is she doesn't even know she's got a bowl coming. So when it shows up, hopefully she hasn't thrown the rest of the inline filter away.
well, it looks like this is it for me. I'm out of here, guys.
Me too, because I said it's a 4 to 5 show and it is 5:07. Because even if I do cut it in half, it wouldn't be me if I didn't, you know, talk over.
Hey, guys,
So
it
guys,
was
I had
hmm?
a lot of fun today. Alex did too. Alex had less fun. He was busy today.
Dude.
he wants a he wants Ayana to hurry up and finish frickin' school because she's not doing a summer class. So what has she got? A couple weeks left?
Yeah, I think I'm canceling my photography class. I don't need that shit. Not
Yeah.
now at least. It's
You've had an iPhone for a while. You know how to take pictures.
no. They want to go old school with playing with film, like physical film, and I got to play in the red
Oh
room,
yeah.
and so I got to get a real
Thanks, Stan.
camera. Bye, Stan. All right, I'm out. Later.
All right, me too. Guys, once again, just like usual, until next week, peace. I should do the duck lips. I don't know how to do the duck lips, but you've been great. Appreciate you stopping in, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Till then.